We all work hard hoping that one day, money will work for us, right? But for most people, that dream stays a dream. Why? Because we're playing the game with the wrong rulebook.
Okay, cryptic start. I love it. So, what's the one rule we're all messing up?
It's the fundamental difference between an asset and a liability. In the rich data world, an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out.
Okay, that sounds like Econ 101. But let me guess, most of us are lying to ourselves about which is which?
Exactly. Think of assets as money trees and liabilities as, well, gold-swallowing beasts. You want a reflexive rich mindset where you spot the difference instantly.
Gold-swallowing beasts? I love that imagery. All right, hit me with the hardest example. What about the house we live in? That's an asset, right?
Not necessarily. Think about it: mortgage interest, property taxes, repairs, insurance. That money flows out every month. Even if the value goes up, it's not putting cash in your pocket today.
Wait, so I'm working myself to death just to feed a beast that lives in my backyard? That is deeply depressing, Nick.
Unless the rent you could collect covers all those costs. If cash isn't flowing ***, it's a liability, even if the bank calls it an asset.
Okay, fair point. But at least a house tries to hide it. What about cars? Please don't tell me my car is a beast.
It doesn't even try to hide. The moment you drive it off the lot, value drops. Then gas, insurance, tickets, it's a pure consumption machine.
Ouch! My poor wallet is crying. So are you saying I should live in a box and take the bus?
No. The secret isn't to *avoid nice things. It's the order you buy them in. The poor buy liabilities first. The rich buy assets first *, then use the income from those assets to buy the nice cars and houses.
So you build the money tree first, then you use the fruit to pay for the beast. That makes way more sense.
Precisely. We're not talking about being cheap, we're talking about buying your freedom back. That's the real win.
Okay, I'm listening. How do we start building that money tree army? Give me the step-by-step.
Great question. Let's build that money tree army. The first step is understanding the most fundamental wealth rule, distinguishing between assets and liabilities.
Okay, but isn't an asset just something valuable I own? Like my house or car?
That's the million-dollar question, and where most of us get tripped up. In the rich dad mindset, an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out.
Wait, so my house that's worth $300,000. Is that an asset?
Let's look at the cash flow. First, you've got that massive mortgage payment, basically working for the bank. Second, property taxes, utilities, and HOA fees keep draining your wallet whether you're home or not. Third, maintenance and repairs sneak up on you: new roof, broken appliances.
Don't remind me. Just had to replace the AC unit last summer. $5,000 gone in a weekend.
Exactly. And then there's the most subtle cost, opportunity cost. That down payment you froze in your house, could it have become an actual income-producing asset elsewhere?
But my house is worth more now than I paid for it. Isn't that appreciation making it an asset?
That's the old mindset, the rising prices myth we've been conditioned to believe. For decades, that worked. But now? In many markets, home values are adjusting. The future will look more like developed countries where only prime properties consistently outpace inflation.
But if I didn't buy, I'd have to rent anyway. At least with a house, I'm building equity.
That's the key comparison, your monthly holding costs versus equivalent rent. If your total housing costs, mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance, are lower than renting a similar place, it's at least neutral in cash flow. But if your costs exceed market rent? Financially, it's acting as a liability.
So my $300,000 house with $2,500 per month payment is only an asset if I rent it out for more than that?
Precisely. The moment positive cash flows asterisk to asterisk you, that liability transforms into a money tree. Until then? It's your personal gold-plated money pit.
And cars? Those are definitely liabilities, right? My car payment, insurance, gas.
Cars are even more transparent. They're pure consumption. The moment you drive off the lot, you've lost 20% of your value. Then insurance, maintenance, parking tickets, it's a constant cash drain. Unless you use it to generate income, like rideshare or delivery work where earnings exceed costs.
So rich people don't buy nice houses and cars?
They do. But the order is everything. The middle class buys liabilities first, the big house, nice car, and works to pay for them. The rich buy assets first that generate income, then use that money to buy their liabilities. They let their money trees pay for their luxuries.
So first step, draw a financial map with assets on one side, liabilities on the other. Second, before any big purchase, ask asset or liability. Third, start small, even $50 a month into actual assets. The goal is growing that left column until passive income covers all expenses.
Exactly. This isn't about living poor, it's about buying your freedom. When your assets earn enough to cover your lifestyle, you stop working for money and money starts working for you. That's when you truly own your time. And that brings us to the most straightforward example of all, cars. They're almost the poster child for pure consumption. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, you've instantly lost 10 to 20% of its value. That's not depreciation, that's immediate, tangible loss.
Ouch! So that new car smell is basically the scent of money flying out the window? What about all the other costs? Because I know my car payment is just the beginning of the bleeding.
Exactly. Insurance, fuel, maintenance, parking fees, and inevitable repairs, it's a constant drain on your wallet. And let's not forget the psychological cost, the stress when a door ding appears or that anxiety about mileage when you're considering selling.
So basically, cars are like that high-maintenance friend who's fun to be around, but constantly costs you money and gives you anxiety?
Perfect analogy. The only exception is when a car transitions from liability to asset, when it's used for business purposes where earnings exceed all those costs. Rideshare drivers, delivery services, or business use where tax advantages and income turn the tide.
So unless my car is paying me more than it's costing me each month, it's just expensive convenience? That's a tough pill to swallow for us car lovers.
Exactly. And that brings us to the core of what separates the wealthy from everyone else. It's not about how much they earn, but the order in which they play the money game. The rich buy assets first, then use the income from those assets to purchase their liabilities.
Hold on, let me get this straight. So while I'm using my paycheck to pay off my car loan and mortgage, wealthy people are using their income to buy things that pay them back first?
Precisely. For most people, the income stream looks like this: salary comes in, and immediately flows out to expenses and liabilities. It's a constant cycle where they're trading their time for money that disappears almost as quickly as it arrives.
That's honestly depressing. Like a hamster wheel where the cheese keeps getting smaller. So, what does this rich people's flow actually look like in practice?
Picture this: income comes in, but first stop is purchasing assets, things like rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, or businesses. These assets then generate passive income that covers their living expenses. Only after that system is in place do they use the surplus to buy liabilities, the nice cars, the fancy houses.
So the Lamborghini isn't actually making them rich? It's just the trophy they buy after they've already built wealth?
Exactly. The trophy is the byproduct, not the foundation. That's why they can afford these luxuries without financial stress. They are not paying for it with their active labor, but with passive income from their assets.
This changes everything. So the real question isn't, can I afford this? But will this put money in my pocket or take money out?
That's the million-dollar question right there. The secret isn't to avoid liabilities entirely, but to build your asset column first so your assets can ultimately buy your liabilities. That's the game. Exactly. So how do we actually implement this in our daily lives? The first step is to draw your personal financial map. Literally get a piece of paper and draw 2 columns. On the left, list all your assets, things that actually put money in your pocket. On the right, list all your liabilities, things that take money out. This visual exercise alone can be eye-opening for most people.
Okay, but let's get practical. Like, what would go on each list? My apartment's on the mortgage, but it's also appreciating in value. And my car, well, we just established that's basically a money pit. How do I categorize these big-ticket items?
Great question. The key is to think in terms of cash flow. Your primary home might be appreciating, but if it's not generating positive cash flow, meaning rent exceeds all your holding costs, it's technically a liability. The same goes for cars. Unless you're using it for business or rideshare where it earns more than its costs, it's a liability. The beauty of this framework is it forces us to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be.
So before I make any big purchase, I should ask myself, will this put money in my pocket or take money out? That's simple but powerful. But here's the thing, I barely have enough to cover my bills each month. How am I supposed to start building assets when I'm living paycheck to paycheck?
That's where the third piece comes in: start an asset plan with forced savings. The amount isn't the point initially. It's about creating the habit. Even if it's just $50 a month automatically transferred to an investment account, you're building muscle. The goal is to make asset accumulation non-negotiable, like paying yourself first before anything else. Over time, you'll find ways to increase that amount.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. This isn't about deprivation. It's about reordering our priorities so we can eventually afford those trophy purchases without financial stress. The real wealth isn't about what we own, but about buying back our time and freedom. That's the game changer.
Spot on. It all comes down to those 3 steps: draw your financial map, ruthlessly ask if a purchase is an asset or a liability, and kickstart an asset plan with forced savings. It's about shifting from being a consumer to becoming an owner.
It's honestly a total mindset flip. We've been conditioned to think wealth is the car in the driveway or the designer bag on the arm. But that's just noise. Real wealth isn't about how many expensive things you own. It's about how much time and freedom you can ultimately buy for yourself.
Exactly. When you own your time, you own your life. That is the ultimate currency.
And that is the only trophy worth fighting for. Thanks for diving down this rabbit hole with us. We'll see you in the next one.